Success and failure are not accidents. They are psychological patterns silently shaping every decision you make long before the world sees the result. The greatest battle is never against the world. It is against the invisible beliefs inside your own mind. Win that battle, and success becomes inevitable. Lose it, and failure repeats itself no matter how hard you work. Have you ever looked at someone successful and wondered, what do they have that I don't? Maybe you've convinced yourself they were born lucky, smarter, richer, more talented. But what if I told you that the real difference isn't found in their bank account, their education, or even their opportunities? What if the answer has been hidden inside the human mind all along? Imagine two people standing at the same starting line. Both dream of changing their lives. Both face fear, rejection, and uncertainty. Years later, one is admired by the world, while the other quietly wonders where everything went wrong. The strange part is that their paths didn't separate because of one big decision. They separated because of thousands of tiny psychological choices that no one else could see. As the philosopher Carl Jung once suggested, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Most people never realize they are living according to invisible mental patterns that quietly determine their future. Today, we're going beneath the surface to uncover the hidden psychology behind success and failure. By the end of this journey, you may never look at your own life or your own mind the same way again. Part 1. The invisible story you tell yourself. Before success appears in your reality, it first appears in your identity. And before failure destroys your dreams, it quietly convinces you that those dreams were never meant for you. Every human being carries an invisible narrator inside their mind. From the moment you wake up until you fall asleep, this narrator is constantly telling you who you are, what you're capable of, and what you should expect from life. The frightening part is that most people never question this voice. They simply obey it. Imagine a child who grows up hearing, "You're not smart enough." Those words may disappear from the room, but they never disappear from the mind. Years later, every difficult challenge becomes evidence that the voice was right. Failure no longer feels like an event, it becomes an identity. Now imagine another child who learns that mistakes are simply teachers in disguise. When life knocks them down, they don't ask, "Why am I a failure?" Instead, they ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" The external event is identical, yet the internal interpretation changes everything. This is why two people can experience the same rejection. One gives up forever. The other becomes stronger because of it. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." He understood something modern psychology continues to confirm. Reality is often filtered through the stories we repeatedly tell ourselves. Your identity is like the roots of a tree. Success is only the fruit. Most people spend years polishing the fruit while ignoring the roots beneath the ground. The uncomfortable truth is this: your future is rarely determined by your circumstances. It is determined by the meaning your mind assigns to those circumstances. Perhaps the greatest prison has no walls. It is the story you keep repeating inside your own head. Part 2. Fear is not your enemy. Comfort is the greatest tragedy, isn't that people fail. The greatest tragedy is that millions never discover what they were capable of because fear convinced them to stay comfortable. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine standing at the edge of a cliff. Below you is uncertainty. Behind you is familiarity. Every instinct tells you to step back, to remain where it feels safe. That instinct has protected humanity for thousands of years. But in the modern world, the same survival mechanism that once kept our ancestors alive now quietly keeps millions trapped. The human brain is designed to avoid pain before it seeks reward. It would rather protect what it already has than risk losing it for something greater. This is why people stay in jobs they hate, relationships that drain them, and routines that slowly steal their dreams. It isn't because they lack ambition, it's because the mind mistakes familiarity for safety. Psychologists call this the comfort zone, but perhaps a better name would be the invisible cage. The bars are not made of steel, they are made of excuses. What if I fail? What if people laugh at me? What if I'm not good enough? These questions echo so loudly that many never take the first step, yet they rarely ask the opposite question. What if I succeed? What if my life changes forever? What if this fear is actually pointing me toward the life I was meant to live? Fear has a strange habit. It grows in the imagination but shrinks in action. The more you postpone a difficult conversation, the more terrifying it becomes. The longer you delay chasing a dream, the larger the obstacles appear. But the moment you act, reality often proves far less frightening than the stories your mind created. The philosopher Seneca observed, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Those words remain just as true today. Many people are defeated not by failure itself, but by the anticipation of failure. Think of a seed buried beneath the earth. From the outside, it appears trapped in darkness. Yet that pressure is exactly what forces it to grow upward toward the light. Without resistance, there would be no tree. Without struggle, there would be no strength. Success follows the same law. Every entrepreneur who built a business, every athlete who broke a record, every artist who changed the world carried fear with them. They did not wait for courage to appear. They acted while their hands were shaking. This is where most people misunderstand confidence. They believe confidence comes before action. In reality, confidence is the reward for repeated action. Every small victory whispers to your mind, "You survived. You can do this again." Eventually, the impossible becomes ordinary. Failure often begins the moment comfort becomes more valuable than growth. When every decision is based on avoiding discomfort, life slowly becomes smaller. Dreams fade into memories. Potential turns into regret. The Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu taught that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Notice he didn't say the step would be fearless, he simply said it must be taken. One day, you will look back on your life. You won't remember every easy day that felt comfortable. You'll remember the moments when you faced uncertainty, challenged your limits, and discovered a version of yourself you never knew existed. The question is not whether fear will appear. It always will. The real question is this: will fear become the author of your story, or merely a character that appears for a few chapters before you continue writing your own ending? Thanks for watching. And please, subscribe, comment, share, like.